Next up, connecting a phone is a pretty straightforward process. So along the very bottom, we're just going to hit the phone button there, and we're just going to hit an add phone.
Search for your vehicle on your device and select it once it is found.
And on our phone, we're just going to connect to the Bronco along the very bottom.
Confirm that the pin displayed on sync matches the pin displayed on your device.
Numbers match up, which is great. Do I want to allow contacts and favorites to sync up? I'm going to hit no for now. Boom, we are now connected.
For your safety, please stay alert to changing road conditions and use Sync's voice-activated features while your vehicle is in motion.
Okay, so it's asking, do I want to allow CarPlay? So it does support wireless Android Auto Apple CarPlay, which means, yeah, let's hit use CarPlay now. We just have to enable there. Boom. And we are fully connected. So literally is that simple. We've got our Apple Maps along the very top, we've got Google Maps, and we've got Waze. So yeah, this thing does have factory navigation, but if you prefer to use one of these other map applications instead, you've got the flexibility to be able to do it. So very straightforward. Along the very bottom, we can also jump into any of these other applications that are available. Now, one nice thing is that if we wanted to, we could also customize the overall look and layout. So if we go into CarPlay, we go to our car, we go to customize, we can just do a drag and drop. So if there are other things that, maybe you just never listen to or you don't care about, like your map, like the calendar, you can jump up along the very top for audiobooks and podcasts if that's what you prefer. So you can adjust the look and layout there if you want to. Anything that we delete is going to be available under the My Apps along the very bottom. We can just do a reset along the very top in order to bring this whole thing back to that factory default there instead. So very, very straightforward, and even using this is super straightforward. So let's say if you'd prefer to, listen to LiveX Live, which is a radio app, we do have the flexibility of going through different options there. Then we can jump into any of these other applications. So if we go to, let's say, Waze, we've got our Waze app there instead. We've got our favorites. We can use our microphone if we want to, or we can search for an address that way. So we've got quite a few different options that are available. Moving back if we want to, we can also change out our view this way. We can adjust as necessary there, move in, out, backwards, forwards, etc., or move back to this main screen. We do have Google Maps as part of this system on top of that, so we can search along the very top, and then very straightforward, so we can also just do our zoom out that way as well, back to that main screen instead. So it is very straightforward in order to use this thing. Podcast, same idea. So we just kind of adjust as necessary. We can browse out, we can look through anything that are available. Jump back into CarPlay there by pressing this button along the very bottom tray. And then we can press this one to get to this main one instead. Now, because we do have our iPhone connected over Bluetooth, or because we're connected through Apple CarPlay, we can press and hold the voice command prompt on the steering wheel in order to activate our Siri Assistant if we wanted to. So if you prefer to search through Siri, it's the same way with the Android side of things, which we'll get to in a second. We've got the flexibility to do it. As you can see there, we're fully connected. Now, if we go to our settings along the very bottom, we can go to our phone list, or if we're inside of CarPlay, we can hit phone list along the very top, and that brings us to this menu. We hit our phone, we can disable CarPlay if we want to, and that's disabled CarPlay, so we can reconnect to Bluetooth media or back to CarPlay, or we just press the junk along the very top, so that trash icon, in order to be able to remove it. But that's how we set up an iPhone inside of the Bronco. Setting up an Android device is the exact same process, so very straightforward. If you weren't on this screen, let's say if you were on the main phone screen, or if you were on the audio screen, we just jump into our phone, or we can get at through settings. But we're just going to go add phone.
Search for your vehicle on your device and select it once it is found.
And then on the phone, we just want to make sure, this is kind of neat. So we've got our Bronco, we want to connect there. Do we want to sync contacts? We're going to say skip that for now. This is new. New look to this is just kind of neat. Sync our SMS, we're going to say no, and it's connecting now. Perfect. So we are connected, and
for your safety, please stay alert to changing road conditions and use Sync's voice-activated features while your vehicle is in motion.
All right, so we had another message pop up. So this thing does have the option of setting up Android Auto, but let's say if for whatever reason you didn't do it at first. So we're going to go disable, we're going to say not now. We've also got a few other apps that we can download in order to get a little bit more bang for our buck out of this thing. So we're fully connected there, but if we go into the Galaxy now, look at what we saw. So we've got our phone settings, same thing as the Android side of things, but now we've got this favorite phone because we've got two phones connected. So, two phones connected, there we go. So if we go through, we've got our phone settings, we can have one set up as a favorite. So if there are multiple phones connected to the vehicle, it's who gets connection priority. So we've got a few different options that are available there. Moving back, we can also now connect to Android Auto. So vehicle supports Android Auto. So what we're going to do is enable there. Perfect, and it's bound us, there we go, perfect. Bounce us up on the screen, which is great, and we're just going to continue. Because we're wireless, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we are fully connected, and it's that simple to do it. We've got our search along the very top bar there, so we can see exactly where we want to go. Moving back, we've also got our podcast. So if we want to jump into podcast, we can easily do that. We press this little button along the very bottom to get back to this main screen. But as you can see there, a few other options available. We've got our audio, we've got our notification center, and then we've also got the Google Assistant. So if we want to go one route or the other, we can do that. Now, very similar to what we saw on the Apple side, we press and hold the voice command prompt on the steering wheel, and that launches us into our voice assistant there on top of that. So it is nice. We don't have quite as many options as what we had on the iPhone side. Like, this phone does have Waze installed, but as you can see there, no Waze support on Sync 4 for the Bronco as of right now. Unfortunate. I do wish that that was available as an option, but it is not available as an option as of right now. So very similar to what we saw on the iPhone side of things, we do have the flexibility of customizing Android Auto a little bit. All we're going to do is click on Android Auto after we search for it, and we've got previously connected cars. We can customize the launcher now. So if we want to, let's say if we want our Google Maps along the very top, we just do a drag and drop, and we've got a few other options that are available there. So we've got some hidden apps, so if we don't want our calendar there, but one thing, it didn't update it. So it's not dynamic the same way that it would be on the iPhone side of things. We actually have to get out of Android Auto, and then we have to relaunch in order for any changes to take into effect. So we actually have to shut down Android Auto on both the phone and the vehicle and then launch back in for changes to come into effect. So if we go phone list, we've got the Galaxy, we can disable Android Auto.
For your safety, please stay alert to changing road conditions and use Sync's voice-activated features while your vehicle is in motion.
Okay, and then after we launch back in, we're just going to go back to this main screen, and as you can see, that change that we made to Maps is now there. So you do have to actually shut down Android Auto on both your phone and the vehicle and relaunch in order for this to work. And we do have a few other options inside of this thing. So we've got our Hey Google voice detection, which is going to launch into our Google Assistant there. And we've got our few other options that are available. So our weather, notifications, and a few other things. So we can adjust as necessary. Now, one thing I mentioned, this thing is available as wireless Android Auto, but if for whatever reason you wanted to be wired, you could hook up through USB. We've got a few USB ports down the center stack there if you wanted to go that wired route instead. So wireless is available, and then inside of the Bronco, just the version that we've got, we do also have our wireless phone charger. So you could go wireless all across the board if you really wanted to, or you could just go to that old school wired solution instead. It's really your choice. Now, if we hit our phone list along the very top, we've got both phones that were connected. So if we go one, we can delete if we want to, and that's going to scrap everything from the vehicle. Same idea with the iPhone that we also connected. We're going to hit yes in order to delete that. And as you can see, that is also deleted from the vehicle. So that's simple in order to be able to set up an Android and iPhone device inside of this thing.